What's your name?
Devin.
The Routiers were a typical family. Darlie was viewed by those who knew her as a very doting mother.
Hi, I'm here.
The Routiers seemed to have everything until one night in June of 1996.
When I went to sleep, everything was perfect. When I woke up, it's been a nightmare ever since.
What woke you up?
My little boy, Damon. He was pressing on my shoulder, and he was saying, Mommy.
Darlie has always maintained that there was a man in the house that night.
Darlie says that strange man attacked her.
I could see like the outline of a man that was going through the end of the living area into the kitchen. There was a sound of glass breaking. I stood up and I started to walk to the kitchen, and there was a knife laying down on the ground right outside the utility room. I picked it up. It was just like an instinct. And at that time, I could see Devin laying face up. And I flipped on the lights, and I remember screaming and screaming for Darren.
I run down the stairs, and she meets me at the bottom of the stairs. She was trying to tell me that Devin is hurt. Devin, 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 Devin. I mean, she just, the look on her face is just startling.
911, what is your emergency? Ma'am? They just stabbed me and my children. What? They just stabbed me and my children. Who did?
Police spent much of the day meticulously investigating the crime scene.
When the police were there, they saw a cut screen in the garage, which seems to indicate that someone cut the screen from the outside, stepped through the screen, and headed for the main part of the house. And they found bloody footprints on the kitchen floor, broken glass, bloody fingerprints, and blood everywhere.
She said that she had fought off the attack. The only description of the attacker was a white male wearing dark clothing.
About a week after the murders, on June 14th, the Routiers hold a birthday party at the cemetery for Devin, who would have turned 7 that day. And a local television station went out and caught it.
Happy birthday to you.
They sprayed silly string, which took maybe 20 seconds. They sang happy birthday. And you hear Darlie and Darren both saying,
Love you, Devin and Damon. Even though we're sad because Devin and Damon aren't here, we try to hang on to what we can to get us through these times.
And I recall how shocked I was at the sight of that. And I wasn't the only one who was shocked.
I was really taken aback by her demeanor. I tell you, as a parent, I found it disgusting.
So a couple of days after the birthday party, we get a phone call. We need y'all to come up to the station. We hopped in the car, we ran up there, and we were excited that they were getting close to catching who did this.
At approximately 10:20 p.m. this evening, investigators from the Rowlett Police Department arrested Darlie Routier. We believe that the white male suspect, described by Darlie Routier as the man that attacked her and murdered her children, never existed. We also believe that the wounds present on Darlie Routier were self-inflicted.
I swear I did not murder my children, I swear.
Darlie Routier was charged with 2 counts of capital murder. If convicted, she could face the death penalty.
One thing that investigators found very suspicious was a very odd comment that Darlie made on the 911 tape regarding fingerprints.
The knife was laying over there, and I already picked it up. Okay, it's all right. It's okay. I got the prints, baby.
She's got 2 children dying in front of her. Boy, that thing that comes to her mind is fingerprints.
Common sense tells me no mother would ever make a statement like that. The only inference we could draw was she was setting up why you're not going to find an intruder's fingerprints on there.
When she said, don't touch anything, it clicked in my head, you know. Oh my gosh, I've just touched a piece of evidence.
They left the knife laying on. There's a knife. Don't touch anything.
The strongest evidence of innocence are the photographs of Darlie.
In all the murder cases I've tried, I've never seen a self-inflicted wound in the neck like that. I mean, just a fraction of a millimeter more that she would have bled to death.
Everyone agrees that Darlie had wounds, but the prosecution and defense see them very differently. Prosecutors believe she wanted to make it look like she'd been attacked.
It was a superficial wound. It just cut the skin. You look at the injuries to the boys, deep stab wounds that went through their entire chest and back area.
Because we don't have a live witness to contradict the story, what we're going to have to rely upon is the physical evidence in the crime scene to do that for us.
An adult's athletic sock was found with a small blood stain from both boys in the alley a few doors away.
The sock down the alley is probably the most important piece of evidence in this case.
The investigators were coming up with all these conclusions about what happened inside the house. And then one cop found a bloody sock, and the blood belonged to two people, Damon and Devin. How did that sock get down there?
It's always been our belief that Darlie Routier placed that sock in that alley.
If she had done this crime, why wouldn't she just throw it in the backyard or at the end of the driveway, where it could clearly be found immediately by the police?
This case is going to trial.
They reached a verdict at 3:50. We're just waiting to get into the courtroom now to find out what it is.
The jury deliberated for 7 hours before it was announced that there was a verdict. So everyone came rushing back to the courtroom. The verdict was guilty.
Darlie, do you have any comments? Is there anything you would like to say?
I didn't murder my children.
Very quickly after Darlie was handed a death sentence, she arrived at Women's Death Row. She's been there ever since.
Coming in post-conviction, my focus is on new things. What are the things that we can find out now that couldn't be done back then?
A crucial piece of evidence in this case is a bloody fingerprint found near the scene. And identifying who that print belongs to is absolutely critical to whether there's another suspect involved in this crime.
The state has always taken the position that it didn't have sufficient points of comparison, they call it, to run that through the FBI's database. It could well be the print of the person who actually did this. So we filed a motion for discovery. We asked for DNA testing of a number of materials, including the sock. The federal court judge, Judge Ferguson, actually granted us the ability to run the 85J fingerprint through the database. But the state of Texas was opposed to doing that. We've been waiting on that for about 9 years now. That could be the piece that makes the whole case crumble.
Even if my name is cleared and I'm exonerated, there's no winning for me. Because nobody can give me Devin and Damon back.
We should note there's still no execution date set for Routier because of additional court-granted DNA testing.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.